Thanks, boys. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. How many peeps we got tonight? That crowd, sweet. And it keeps growing. Fantastic. Oh, I saw my slides up too. Get out of here, you. I don't need you. They already saw you. There we go. Okay. So all I have is this open right now. We're just, as always, going to go from the top, go to the bottom. And then if you have any questions, feel free to throw them at me. Anybody have any questions or things that they want me to focus on? Just want to tell me right now, get off their chest. You know. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's go, artichokes. 23.8 studio, the DOM and events. Now that we have, oh, Nikes, I'm already messing up my words. Now that we can build a basic flight simulator, we want to add more controls for the staff at our space station. The HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files are provided. For each event, the requirements and desired effects is listed. 23.8.1, getting started. First, fork the studio repository to your GitHub account. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and click on this link. It should open up a new tab. Thank you very much. I'm going to click fork, which is in the top right here. Forking means it's not going to take this copy. Instead, it's going to make a separate copy, put it inside of my repository. So I see Kyle-Wagoner up here. So this is my own copy. So anything I push will go right to my repo. So that's perfect. That's what we want to see. Anything additional before I actually go ahead and clone it. So click the fork button. That's what we did in that top right. A pop-up appears saying where the repository, blah, 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 because you go to my profile. Yes, it forked it over to my profile. That's what it did. All right, if you have properly forked the repository, when you click on the forked repository, that's a lot of times saying forked repository, on your profile, you will see the following words, DOM-and-events-studio. All right, once you've properly done this, it's time to clone it. Well, I'm getting this. Who can tell me that command to do the thing? How do I clone something?
Git clone.
Clone.
Exactly, like strong hint. It starts with clone. Oh, it starts with git, ends with clone. Close out some of this stuff here. Did you? There we go. And I'm gonna type clear here. Give us a fresh slate. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the proper directory, which is LC, and then I'm gonna do that git git clone, paste in that link, press enter, and it clones right in there. The magic of the internet. Fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and rearrange. No, I did my stuff right. Yes, okay. Okay, so it is all cloned now. Copy URL, that's what we did. Open Visual Studio Code, so we're gonna go ahead and go to Visual Studio Code now. It's cloned, so I'm gonna go to here, File, Open, and then what I'm gonna do is go to LC here. Single click my DOM-and-events because I want to open the folder, not the files. Open that. And there she blows. All right. So now we're on to 23.8.2, the requirements. Number one, use the window load event to ensure all elements have loaded before attaching event handlers. Okay, so what this means is something we kind of talked about in lecture, but a specific event we haven't, and that's the load event. So what this means is that we need to create a listener for this load event. So whenever the window is finally loaded, we can build more event listeners. That's what we have to do. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna go into, let's see first index.html, because I haven't even looked at this code yet. So it looks like we're keeping all of our scripts inside of the scripts.js file. So it doesn't look like I'm gonna write any code, at least right now, here. I'm gonna take a look. Okay, looks like some nice HTML. Isn't that pretty? Okay. And real quick, before I even start coding, what I'm gonna do just to get a little bit more prepared, I'm gonna go to my LC file and just open up the actual index.html so we have it. Give it a second here. So close out of that. Come over here. I'm gonna open up a new tab and paste in that. So now we have our index.html there so we can see it and work with our stuff as we're building our site. All right, so going back over, we're gonna go to scripts.js and write your JavaScript code here. Remember to pay attention to page loading, okie dokie. All right, so the first thing we need to do is build that event listener. So who can tell me how they did it? Anybody want to tell me the answer?
I did window dot add event listener.
Love it. Window add event listener, because we have to listen to the browser. When the browser's done compiling all our code or done loading, that's the event we need to listen to. So very good, Jade. Yeah, we need to go on our window, that element, add event listener, and then in here, you want to keep talking me through it?
Load. I did a string of saying load.
Very good.
And then I did an anonymous function.
Awesome. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Open bracket.
And let's go ahead and make sure that this works now. So yes, very good. So we're going to console log. It's loaded. Cool, and let's make sure that works. So now I have this in there. What I'm going to do is come over here to our flight simulator, right click, press inspect, and then go over to our console. It is nice and blank. I'm going to go and refresh now, and it says it's loaded. We're well on our way. Awesome. Step 1 done. Any questions on that one?
Why did I say window dot? It took me a while to figure it out.
So that one's not very intuitive because you have to know that the window is the one loading. So think of it as we're looking for the last possible element to be loaded, so we can assume it's loaded. The last element to finally load is the biggest one, which is our window. So we use window because that will be the last final element that is loaded in our HTML or in our website. So that's why we use window, because it is the final thing to be loaded. So that's the best place to put the event listener for load. Does that kind of make a little bit better sense?
A little bit better sense.
Okay.
As we go along, it'll clear up, I'm sure.
Yeah, just think Windows is the last thing always to be loaded. So that's the one that we should be listening to. All right.
Instead of an anonymous function, can we build a named function and put it up above that window.add event listener?
Technically, yes, you can, but make the argument for yourself why you're doing a named function. We do named functions because they're reusable, as in we can reuse them in multiple places. So ask yourself, are you planning on using that function in multiple places? If you say yes, then yeah, named function is the way to go. If you say no, it's probably only a one-time thing. That's when we go with anonymous. But to answer your question, yes, that will work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go back over here and we'll go to step 2. When the takeoff button is clicked, the following should happen. A window confirm should let the user know, confirm that the shuttle is ready for takeoff. If the shuttle is ready for takeoff, then add parts B through D. All right, well, let's give it a second here, all right? We're not gonna hop to B and D or B to D real quick. What we're gonna do is paste in those instructions so we have them over here. Down like that. There we go. It's just so we can, oh my gosh, how many instructions are there? There we go. So window confirm to let the user know, confirm that, okay, so that is when, I didn't copy that, the takeoff button is clicked. So we need to get that takeoff button. So first I need to know I need to get the element. So let takeoff button equal, and then I'm gonna go to index.html. And then there's a takeoff button. So what I need to do and why I'm trying to find is because, okay, I need to find my element manually to find the ID so I can find it via code here next. So takeoff is the ID for a takeoff button. So I grab that ID, I come back over here. I'm gonna say document because I know all my tags are within my document, dot, and then find, get element by ID. There we go, takeoff, perfect. And just to make sure that I'm getting it, I'm gonna go ahead and console log takeoff button because we need to do this every step of the way so we know if something's wrong, we know exactly where it happened. So I'm going over here. And there we go, I am finding my button. I know I'm finding my button because it appears something. If I didn't find it, it would be null. So it is there. So next thing I need to do is now create an event listener for it. So I can say takeoff button dot add event listener. And what event am I looking for on a button?
Click.
Awesome. Awesome. There we go. Yes, and we're gonna do another anonymous function for right now, just because I have no reason to reuse any of these functions just yet. Okay, so here we go, and we have a console log. Just make sure this works too. I clicked it. And real quick, what I'm going to show you is that, so we have created the event listener, but this is taking up 4 lines of code. So what you could have also done is that instead of saving it to a separate variable, you could have also just done it all within one line by doing it this way. That is also an option if you wanted to save a little bit of space. So just know that option is out there. Let's go and make sure it works. Go over here. I'm going to click takeoff, and it says I clicked it. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. What are we doing now? Okay. So we are good there. And go and yell out those questions if anybody has them. I'm not looking at the lecture questions channel. So there it is. Now I'm looking at it, but feel free to yell them out to me. All right. So it says if the shuttle is ready for liftoff, then add parts A through B. So what I'm going to have to do now is that it says I have to show a confirmation. So what do we need to do? What am I going to use to show a confirmation modal? Or dialog?
Confirm.
Very good. Window.confirm. And then I believe it gave me, we got a storm coming in. Confirm that the shuttle is ready for takeoff. There we go. Copy that, paste that into there because we do not want to just type the whole thing out. Now tell me this, what's special about Windows.confirm? What does it do when we click OK or cancel?
Gives you true or false.
Right, returns something. It returns us back a response. So I'm going to say let response. You can also say yes, no, or something like that. So I'm going to say that. There we go. So if response, which this is equivalent, if I just put if response like that, is equivalent to saying is equal true. You can do either one. That's a little trick there we haven't really talked about too much. And this means if response is true, it's kind of a shorthand way of saying it, then it says I'm going to need to do confirm the shuttle is ready to take off. Then I'm going to have to add parts B to D. All right. We have now completed this instruction, so I'm going to remove it.
Kyle, I'm sorry. So I'm just kind of like comparing the code to the example in 23.6.1. It looks like, so I noticed that you did this document get element by ID, which is a little bit different, I guess, from earlier as well. So what changed? And I'm missing something, I guess. So
Are you just, is it just this portion right here?
yeah, because I think earlier I saw that it was just like document and set it equal to something get element by ID, and also the example looks a little different. So just curious about what I'm missing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, that was just Visual Studio Code doing it for me. It just, yeah, there you go. It still works. Yeah. So you can use this because this is defining the context of everything. And inside everything is your window and your document. So this just means everything, literally the world. So you can slap this on front of it and it doesn't make any difference. You can also take it out. Why it doesn't matter is because if this is not in front of document, it's just assumed that it should be there. It's JavaScript trying to help you out. So just pretend that this, it doesn't matter either way in this regard. In this context, don't take that word don't take that word literally, because this is very important. But in this context, it doesn't matter. But I'll leave it like this because it is closer to the example.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, crud. Oh, darn it. Okay, if response parts A to B. Okay, so
Kyle, did I miss why you deleted the let takeoff button, or is that on a different tab?
Okay, yeah, so that was, I was just showing you, I was showing, this is a shorthand way of doing it, or just if you want to do it all within one line to eliminate one line of code.
Okay.
So you can, yeah, that was it. Just kind of showing that shorthand way.
Which one was shorter, the takeoff button or this way?
This way right here, this way right here, just because it eliminates you having to create a variable and then using it in the next line. But either way is completely fine.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to move on to part B now. So over to the studio. The flight status should change to shuttle in flight. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the flight simulator. Well, not that actually. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy B through D just so we have it. Come over here, paste up here. There we go, paste that stuff. All right. So the flight status should change to shuttle in flight. So flight status, I gotta go find that in our index.js or index.html. So the flight status. Current flight status is right here for our header, but that's not what we should be changing. We need to change what's below it. So I'm gonna change this ID, flight status. That's what I need. So it says we need to change it to shuttle in flight. So what I'm gonna do, say document dot get element by ID. I provide that ID that I just copied. And again, what I'm gonna do is say enter text, not enter text, because I want to change that text to shuttle in flight. Awesome, awesome. All right, what else we gotta do? We need to, the background color of the shuttle flight screen, ID equals shuttle background, should change from green to blue. Ooh, okay, and they give us the ID. Gosh, they're so nice sometimes. Document dot get element by ID, quote, the thing, dot. Now, this is gonna be interesting. We need to change a styling property. So instead of doing inner text, what we're gonna do is set attribute, and we're gonna do style, and then do background color to a nice blue. And I'm gonna get struck by lightning here. Geez, Louise out there being dramatic. All right.
Do you have to include the set attribute?
There could be a different way of doing it too. Which way did you approach it?
I just did style.
You could actually do that too, because inside the element, you'll have that style there too. So yeah, you can do it either way. So you can, what happened here is that you called style, which is a property on the element. What I called was a method to set the attribute. So we did the same thing, but you used the property instead of the method, which is fine. That's completely cool too. So yeah, like we said, there's a million ways to paint the same picture.
Yeah,
So you just took a different direction. Cool.
I see what you're saying.
All right, so document dot, last thing, the shuttle height should increase by 10,000 miles. Okay, I have no idea what the heck that is. So let's go and find it. The height, where's the height at? Anybody see a height? Take off my boy machine. Oh, there you go. Shuttle height, space shuttle heights. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so looks like, okay, it's at 0. So now I'm gonna do that. So let's go on here. So get element by ID, put that in there. And then inner text once again is going to now be 10,000, just like that. All right, we ready to see if this thing works? Yeah, Kyle, do it. All right, just because you asked nicely. All right, so we press the takeoff button. And is it ready for takeoff? It is. Boom, there we go. And our rocket has lifted off. Awesome. That is step 2. Any questions on that one?
Yeah, Kyle, could you add 10,000 to the shuttle height instead of just setting it to 10,000? I guess I would have interpreted it as add to it. So I would have tried to set up like an accumulator or something.
Yeah, so this is where those data types come into play. We have to think about it. Though 0 is technically a number, what is it represented like inside HTML? That 0 there and everything in HTML is text. So let's go ahead and see actually what happens if we do that. If we try to add to 0, 1,000 or 10,000. Let's go and refresh here. If we press takeoff, press OK. What happens is that we appended that 0 there. We didn't add to it because that 0, though it is a number to us humans, it's a string to HTML. So that's why we have to set it, not append it or try to add to it. Does that make a little bit of sense? A little bit more sense?
Yeah. Since it's not a number, we can't add to it. We just have to set it each time.
Exactly, right. Well, we could always grab the value from the text, convert it to a number, add 10,000, and then put it back as text.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but also hashtag foreshadowing. So I love the question, but that is possibly one thing we have to do in the future. But great question. All right. Any other questions? Okie dokie. Let's keep going. On to 3. When the land button is clicked, the following should happen and all of this stuff. What I'm gonna do is not even read it just yet, but I'm gonna copy that, bring it over here, gonna paste it into here. So the land button, we gotta get that land button. So before you even start looking at what I have to do, I'm gonna go ahead and just start creating this event listener. So you know what, actually, I'm gonna just do it at the top of here so we can stay next to our directions. All right, document.getElement by ID. And then, does anyone have that ID off the top of their head? Look at landing, there it is. All right, landing.add event listener. We're gonna be listening for a nice click, and then we're gonna add that anonymous function. All right, there we go. Okay, a window alert should let the user know the shuttle is landing, and then it gives us a giant message. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. How do I let my user know something? What am I gonna use? What am I gonna use, anybody?
Alert.
Alerts, very good. That is how we're gonna message our user. Perfect, perfect. Okay, step 1 down, we used alert here. The flight status should change to the shuttle has landed. Okay, so we have to change text here. So we're gonna be first, of course, always getting that, and I shouldn't even copy that yet. What we're gonna do is say document.getElement by ID, and now we gotta find, what is the flight status? Let's go and find that flight status. Flight status, here you are. Oh yeah, we've already worked with you before. There we go, put the quotes in there, flight status, and then enter text, because we are gonna be changing that text. Layla, you put that phone down or I'm gonna take it. Give it to the principal. Just kidding, I'm completely joking. That's always what I wanted to do as like a teacher, just to become a teacher. Like, I'm gonna take my phone because my phone was taken from me all the freaking time. All right, the next is the background color of the shuttle flight screen should change from blue to green. Okie dokie. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not even gonna go find anything in index.html. What I'm gonna do is grab this line down here, because I've already changed my background once. So I want to recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle to save the environment, your coding environment. So what we're gonna do is background color is gonna go back to green. That's what I did there. Awesome, so we are almost done here. The shuttle height should go down to 0. So what I'm gonna do is copy that line that we set it to 10,000, bring it back up here, and then put 0 there. All right, everyone. So those are our 4 steps that we need to put into this one. Does anyone have any questions before we run our test, aka our manual test? All right, let's go over there and do it. So refresh. So we're gonna take off, ready for takeoff, all right, and then land. Ooh, look at that. We are on our way, awesome, awesome. All right, if there's no questions, I'm gonna keep going. Number 4, when the abort mission button is clicked, the following should happen, and then all of this stuff. All right, we're gonna keep going. We're just gonna copy that. Maybe go a little bit faster because I feel like I'm gonna have to get off the top floor of this place. Anybody else like have almost a hurricane coming through their house yet?
Yeah, it's storming over here too.
A lockdown instead of all on it.
Oh, awesome. Can't wait. Gotta drive after this. All righty. Okay, so this was our, I love it. I always love how these things are being recorded. I completely forget. It's like, oh, this is gonna really age well. Oh my gosh, what was I doing? Okay, with the abort mission button. Okay, so we're gonna go into our index.html, find our abort mission. There it is, mission abort, that's our ID. We're gonna build one more event listener. So document.getElement by ID, single quotes, mission abort, because that's our ID, that add event listener. We're gonna be listening for that click as always, and add that anonymous function. There we go. Perfect, perfect. And so what I need to do now is a window confirm should let the user know, confirm that you want to abort the mission. If the user wants to abort the mission, then add parts B through D. All right, so what it's gonna sound a lot like is what we were doing down here. So again, I'm gonna copy what I did down here to save us time and paste it up here and remove what's in the if statement for right now. And then of course, we're gonna copy the text up here, confirm that you wanna abort the mission, and paste that. So now a confirm will pop up. The response will be okay or cancel, true or false, and then we'll use the if statement. So there we go. The flight status should change to mission aborted. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So we've seen flight status before. What else? So we can just see, okay, so it looks like background color and shuttle height will all be fixed. So what we're gonna do is copy those 3 things once again, because that's what we've been using in the past. Again, this is just to save us time, but also this is good practice too, because I know this code works. So we're gonna go ahead and change it to mission aborted for our flight status. Background color is from blue to green, just making sure background green and back to 0. All right, so we are done here. So let's go ahead and come back over to our flight simulator, refresh. We're gonna take off, press OK, and then abort the mission. And then everything should go back. We're A-OK, awesome, awesome. Any questions before we move on to 5? Okie dokie. When the up, down, right, and left buttons are clicked, the following should happen, and then these 2 things. All right, let's go ahead and see into here. So this one's interesting, and I always found this interesting too whenever we were working on it too. So image should move 10 pixels in the direction of the button that was clicked. If the up, down buttons were clicked, then the shuttle height should increase or decrease by 10,000 miles. Okay. Oh, it is foreshadowing. I thought it was going to be a further one, but it doesn't look like it. Uh-oh. Okay, so index HTML. All right, we have to see these buttons here. So I don't know what we have to do, and I don't want to do too much work, naturally. All right. Let's take a look and make sure that I'm going to do this properly. Okay. Did you guys also have to add IDs whenever you're doing it? I'm just making sure that I'm going to go the route that everyone else was going to take.
Yeah, we ended up adding IDs to the buttons.
Okay, just want to make sure.
This is where we stopped.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
Kyle,
Yeah.
I did a query selector all and just hit the index of the first 4. If you don't want to add an ID, but
I like that one. For this case, I'm going to just do IDs just so we can visualize it a little bit better, but I like that you did the query selector and you used the list of those 4. Because we didn't go too much over the query selector all. Is that what you used?
sorry, I'm a TA though, so they pay me to do this.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I don't want to touch the IDs.
So what query? Oh, did you use the query selector on this styling specifically? Or did you make it a class, Ryan?
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Are we talking about the buttons to go up, down, right, and left?
Yeah. So how did you differentiate the buttons? Like, how did you query select them?
Oh, I literally just did query selector all, and then I just made const up equals document dot query selector all button index 0, and then down was index 1, index 2.
Okay.
I just saved them as variables.
Yeah, no, technically that does work because 0 through 4 or 0 through 3 will be these buttons. The only thing that would be risky about that is if we added a button at the top, then all of our indexes would be thrown off. But no, I like that. But we know it's not going to happen. So as of right now, I'm going to add the IDs there. But I love just like the cool approaches too people take on this. All right, let's see. Sorry, I got a sidetrack thing. Okay, cool. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go ahead and just add those IDs up, down, right, and left. And we're going to come in here and write these listeners for that. So what I'm going to do is document dot get element by ID, and it's going to be up, add event listener, and it's going to say click. Oh, you know what? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do this event listener and stuff. We're going to do an on click event because that sounds way easier. Uh-oh. No, you don't want to do that? Now you want me to do it this way? Okay. I saw a bunch of people like, no, don't you dare, Kyle. I don't want to do it that way. All right. Okay. Open ID.
Oh, I actually want to do the on click.
Now I have controversy. All right. Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and do add let's just go ahead and do them individually, and I'll show you really quick how I would do it with one functions instead. But anyway, we'll do add event listener. We're gonna do click here, and we're gonna say function. And what it's gonna do is that, so if it says up, we have to add 10,000 to our inner text. So what I'm gonna do is that one's gonna be the more tricky one. So we're gonna say let my, what's it called? Height equal this. But I'm gonna take out this equal sign. So I'm gonna get the inner text from my space shuttle height. And what I'm gonna do now is my height equals number, my height plus 10,000. And then I'm going to reassign the inner text as that. That is how I'm going to add 10,000 to my altitude. Nope, not like that, Kyle, stop it. My height, there we go. So that was step one. So let's go ahead and just test that real quick. So let's see, refresh here. So we say up, look at that. Now we're adding. Awesome, awesome. Next thing we have to do is actually move our image up 10 pixels in the direction of the button that was clicked. So that one's an interesting one. So I'm gonna go see how they designed this this image. Height. What do they want me to do exactly? Yeah, I'm not gonna do it that way. Okay, interesting. Okay, so in order to, so why I am a little perplexed about this one always is, oh, do I have to do it on up? Yeah, because I have to move in the direction that it was clicked, so by 10 pixels. So what I can do is enter margins here. So I can say is document. Yeah, actually we can do that. Document.get element by ID. Let's start with the easy stuff first. Get element by ID, and then it says rocket was our ID. So now I am going to just save that to an additional variable just so it's easier for us to see this. I'm going to call it rocket equal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do rocket. And I'm going to actually do Layla's way of doing it. Say style. And I'm going to say margin. Well, let's see what I can do. Margin top. And so margin top means that if my my box, and I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna refresh this. There we go. If my box is up here and my rocket is up there as it is now, every time I increase the margins, it will push the rocket down. That's my hypothesis, and that's how margins work. It will push the rocket down. Hence why if I want it to go up, I decrease the margin. So I will subtract 10, so the rocket comes back up to the border. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take this styled up margin like that and minus it by 10. I'm gonna see if that works. Let's go and see if I'm actually bonkers or not. I am bonkers. Let's see.
You have to add margin.
In this case, when I'm trying to do up, I don't actually. I want to decrease them. But here, I'll show you what happens, or let's see what happens when it adds. That's not a problem. Beauty of coding, we can break it a million times and nothing truly really happens. There we go, up. I don't like what you're doing, right? Yeah, let me see. I don't think the property is updating it. I think I'm going crazy. Rocket style, margin top. I don't know if I can do it this way, and I really wanted to try it.
Is the rocket's alignment to the top, or is it just sitting there in the center?
The rockets right now alignment is by default just going to be at the top and centered, it looks like.
Okay.
It looks like it's relative, yeah. So, and how we can test this out real quick is actually if we just want to right click on the rocket itself, press inspect, it will take me directly to the image here. And what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to actually, and we can come on here and edit that. You've seen this in one of your studios before. I'm going to do margin dash top, and I'm going to say 10 pixels. See how that moved it down? if I say I want to move the margins by 40, it's moving the rocket down. Let me see if I can do better with padding. Did anyone else have a better approach too? Because this one always kind of perplexed me.
I used style.top and it worked.
Oh, I could do that too. See how this one goes. Yeah, because that one's moving the box. So if I do 100, yeah, it just moves all the stuff down. I like that. Let's do top. Let's see, by 100.
I had to change the style.position to relative also to get that to work.
I thought it was already relative. Okay, let's go over to index.html and take a look. If we come in here, it says inline block. Oh no, I need a position of relative. I thought it was up here. Why did I think position of relative? Oh, because I'm not in the shuttle. There we go, position relative. So position relative is already here. Are you talking about that you changed the rockets to position
Yes.
relative as well? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, this one was always tricky because this is actually fairly complex in general. So let's go and do that. There we go. Let's go back over here, refresh. Let's go and see if it works. Inspect that. Love the teamwork. There we go. Top 50. Oh no. Oh, well, because I didn't put pixels. Excuse me. There we go. Cool. Very nice. I'm going to do that. So what we're going to do is instead of margin top, we'll see if we can actually still do by the direct property here. And again, we're going to do -10 because we want the rocket to go up. So it is counterintuitive why we're doing that sometimes. So move that, save that. And that might not work because it's not going to be numeric, but let's check. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is rockets. Let's see. What top equal rocket.style.top. There we go. Let me see if that's even working. There we go. Perfect. Save that, come back over here, refresh, click up, go to my console. Okay. Did you do set attribute or did you do the direct property whenever you were setting it?
I did style.top.
Okay. Interesting.
I did have to create a variable to hold the number and then adjust that number by 10 and then put that variable into where the style.top equals.
Cool. I love it. Let's try it out. Oh, not you. There you go.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Maybe you did it. Oh, I wasn't sure if you actually clicked the up button when you did that check.
Oh, maybe I didn't. So let me go to refresh that, press the up button again. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and do the set attribute. So rocket.set attribute style, and what I'm gonna do is say top. I am done messing with this thing. Top plus, and then pixels, because that's what it needs. There we go. Control save. And that might actually clear out my relative, so it's gonna be a pain in the tush too. It is, yes. Oh my gosh. I'm surprised it's not working, but this is CSS. I've spent days working with CSS, just trying to get it to do its thing. There we go. But now it's doing that. Try that.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
I ended up doing a top level object called rocket position that just held top 0, left 0, and then added to that object and kept pulling from it when I needed the position. That might help you out a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I might hop into that. Oh, here, that's why I was like, what? Sweet. This was tricky. I can see why this one was like a pain. Yeah. So, okay, so you created you said a global variable?
Yeah, I just called it rocket position and made a object literal and just had a property.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Well, actually, we'll do X and then, no, that would be Y. Top and Y. Let's X equals 0. It's technically, right? Yeah. And everybody, we will talk about what Kyle is doing here in a second. Let's see if this works. Let's see if it's actually working properly. Yeah, but it's still not setting that, guys. So we're gonna set that attribute now, like this. No, headphones are gone. All right, let's go ahead and save that. There we go. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Sorry about that. There we go. Now we're blasting off. Perfect. All right. So what I did here is that what I'm keeping a record of is an X and Y coordinate as we go back to geometry. Top and bottom is our Y axis and left and right is our X. So we're at 0, 0 when we first start. As we go up, we technically increase by negative. And then as we go down, it's positive. It's kind of inversed, but it will do our trick. That's kind of what I'm doing here. It's just keeping that X, Y coordinate. So we don't have to keep 4 variables. We can just keep 2. That's just my approach, just because I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Regardless, it looks like a good approach is to make 2 global variables out here to keep that contained as we do this. This is a very tricky one, and I really kind of want to look at how the book tells us to actually do the solution here. So let me go ahead, and now I'm going to do the down. See if we can get this to work. I mean, does the axis thing kind of make sense? I do feel bad because I don't like putting in math terms.
Nope.
Yeah, let me try to finish with this and see if I can. Okay, so we're gonna say down here, and then this one's like +10. And then we say, yeah, we can keep it tall, so that's fine. Great. Look at that. And a better way of just saying Y, let's just call it top. How's that? We can make that easier. So that's our top value. And that's our global thing. So why we do a global variable is so it can be remembered each time that it's refreshed or added to or subtracted from. That's the beauty of those global variables, is that they stick around the entire time the actual application is running. So there we go. That doesn't work, so I don't even need that. So I'm gonna just clean up my code here now that we have some sense of what we're doing. So there you go. I changed Y to top just for at least a bit, hopefully a little bit clearer. So you go up. Oh, of course, now you're not looking. Top, top. Oh my gosh. You're just not having me today, are ya? Put 2 P's in there, and I'm gonna start using my mouse instead because we need to actually get going here. So top. Anything else with Y now? Top. Okay, that's why you're not looking there. You're not looking there. No, let's save that. Refresh. Up, down, down, down. Okay. Double check that was actually the mistake before I do anything. You do not have to be paying attention to what I'm doing. I am double checking myself for my own personal sanity. think it was hidden variables, which is causing the issues. It was. Ha! I knew it. Kind of, not really. We're going to call it top tracker because top was a variable that was causing issues there. So we're just going to say top tracker, which I don't know where top is in here, but it's causing a ruckus. There we go. Okay. So what I changed here is that we created that global variable. So I'm going to say top tracker, and what I'm going to do is say left tracker here for the next one. But we created those global variables, which will be added to or subtracted to by 10 if we click the up button or the down button. So that's what we did. So there we go. Save that. Refresh and make sure it still works. Awesome. Okay, so we are good so far. And I'm scared to ask this, but any questions about what we just did there? Because it is a little different.
Can we see the code again? That's my only thing.
Yep, absolutely. So here's our up and here's our down code. But don't forget about those global variables at the top.
Thank you.
Keep helping it. Okay.
Hey, are you gonna have like the file so that we can like clone it or fork it when you're done?
I'll push this back up to my repository, and you can definitely take a look at the code at the very end.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we're going to do the left and the right button. So I'm going to start with left here. And what we need to do is that we do not actually need to do anything with the height. So we can actually remove that. It's only on the up and down button as it says. So awesome. That saves us a little bit of work. We still have to get the rocket. And now we don't use top tracker, but instead we're going to be using left tracker. We go left. What we need to do is subtract by 10 because we need to move left. So we need to decrease the way we're going. That's again my hypothesis. We'll double check here in a second. And so what I'm going to do is say left. There we go. Save that. Position relative. Perfect. Come back over here. Refresh it. Go left. That's left, right? Yeah. Awesome. We're going left because we're subtracting 10. So as we subtract 10, our box is over here. It's going to go this way because we're going to decrease the amount of space leftwards. Again, this is counterintuitive. It is really weird. And sometimes it takes, well, it does take a lot of practice and a lot of mistakes. Take my word for it to get this mentally in a decent picture. All right, and let's make sure our up and down still work. Ooh, very interesting. I forgot about that. Because we are doing the set attribute like this, we actually have to put left here. Left tracker. Because we have to update it every single time, and it's going to remove our left tracker. So that is interessante. There we go. Yes. Semicolon plus. Perfect. All right. So what I'm going to do is actually copy that line because we're going to use on every single one just like it is. Except that I need to put quotes. Okay, so again, why we did this is because every time set attribute runs, it will remove all previous attributes in our styling and update it with whatever in the quotes. Hence, when we do left, it will remove the top, how we previously had it, and if we do top, it will remove what we had for left. So we have to make sure it's always there every single time. So now if we save that, come back over, refresh, we go up, and now we can go left. Now it works. Awesome. Last thing we need to do is go right. So we copy left, we paste it to right, or we paste it for right, put a rocket, and instead of minus, we do plus 10, just like that. There we go. Let's go and refresh. Up, right, left, down, and look at us. We are flying around. All right. Any questions thus far?
Could you go back to the code again?
Give you guys a few seconds here, and then we'll keep going. All right, I'm gonna have to keep moving on here. So again, if you guys need any of the code, it will be available at the very end of the night. All right, bonus mission. Congratulations, we have made it to the end. I forgot it was a bonus mission. If you need to log off, feel free to log off, but that was a very tricky one right there. So thank you for sticking through it. We're gonna move on to 23.8.3 bonus mission. If you are done with the above and have some time left during class, okay. There are a few problems that you can tackle for a bonus mission. Keep the rocket flying off of the background and then return the rocket to its original position on the background when it has landed or the mission was aborted. Okay. So keep the rocket flying off the background. How does it do it now exactly? Oh, keep the rocket from flying off the background. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, what is going on there? Because I was like, it's already flying off the background. Okay, so we're gonna start with that. We're gonna not let it fly off the background. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna make sure that our top never goes negative or never goes past 75. Why the number 75? Because if we go over to here, our height and width of this thing is 75. So we wanna make sure it stays within the bounds of the box. So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna start with up. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna check to see, before we even do the top track or anything like that, actually any of this, we're gonna see if we can even allow 10 pixels to be subtracted from this. So we're gonna say is if our top tracker plus our, or what was it, we're gonna do minus 10, is less than 0. This one's gonna be easier. If it's a negative number, we can't do it at all. So if it's a negative number, what I'm gonna do is just return. I don't wanna do anything. That's it. So let's go ahead and see what that does exactly. So we go up, it won't fly off the screen. So we fixed up, that's awesome. If I go down, I'm gonna, oh, I gotta click a lot here. It will go right off the screen still. So let's go ahead and fix that now. What I'm gonna do is that technically what we could do is come here and just paste this in here. And we say if the top tracker plus 10 is greater than 75, then just return, because you don't want to do that. So technically that would fix it. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look of it and then go down. So we're going to keep going down. Uh-oh. Why are you doing that? That's different. Is it going by pixels here?
I think the 75 is the size of the rocket itself, not the green field.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You were just letting me chew on that too. You're like, he's gonna get it here in a second. I'm just gonna call him out. What a dummy.
I'm not that mean, Kyle.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you. All right, well, good, because I was actually wanting to do something anyway, because I don't like just putting hard code numbers in there. That's kind of where I was kind of getting at it. So I promise that's just not me saving my butt. I really do not like putting those, like, I don't like putting hard-coded, like, strings in there. I don't like putting hard-coded numbers. Why? Because I change things often. I'm very OCD, and I want to make things perfect, which makes me change things a bit. So I want to make sure things are dynamic to my changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I need to get the element of that container. So I'm going to say let container equal, and I'm going to go get the actual code of it, shuttle background. This is shuttle background. And then what I'm going to do, instead of putting 75 here, I want to do container dot height. Actually, I want to see what the thing, I think it's height, right? Let's see if it actually does do that. I'll just be undefined. Yeah, let me go and see if I can do this. Okay, so document.get elements by ID. See, if you guys stick around, you get sneak peeks of things, how to do some more debugging right here. So let's go ahead and do shuttle background make sure it actually exists. It does. Awesome. Let's see what our properties are. Okay, our top is 300. Bottom left is 0. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is, let's see if I can console log that before I even try to do that. I'm going to copy this right here, that dot, what's the top? Yeah, so that's weird. Oh, because it's style at top. Duh. Let's go that top. Fine. Okay, oh, no, that's still the wrong thing. No, come on. Try. Fine. So I'm going to go ahead and look at how to get the height here. Get height of HTML. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this into the thing to show you exactly how I go about trying to find my stuff. So what I said is I said get heights of HTML element in JS. So getting height and weight, height and width of an element. Yes, I know. Okay, so clear selected box, offset width, offset height. Okay, so I want the offset height here. That's the actual property name. So let's go ahead and see if that will work. There we go. And what I'm going to do also before I do this is I'm going to just confirm it on here. So I'm going to go and copy this. Nope, not wanted. There we go. And I'm going to say offset height 320. Perfect. That is exactly what I want to see. So we're going to save this, refresh this, and go on down. There we go. But watch very closely what happened here. It stopped, but it stopped at the full tip of the actual little thing, that little rocket. So what we have to do is actually account for that as well. So what we need to do is get the rocket a little bit higher here, and let's make sure that rocket actually has that height in there as well. So, document that height. Cool. So what I can do now is that I can say that plus, or no, it'd be minus the container or rocket dot height. There we go. Oh, there we go. Save. Come back over here. So what that was is I just had to account for that extra little bit of the rockets. What are you doing? Oh, rockets everything. Oh, I'm just giving myself errors. Perfect. And it lands. There we go. It does not go out of there. And we go back up and it shouldn't do it as well because we're now accounting for that rocket size. Awesome. Awesome. Any questions on that? I'm going to keep going then. Cool, cool. So come down here and left and right now. So it's actually going to be a lot more like what we did the previous if statement, so the container. So we're going to get the offset. Let's see what the offset left looks like. So as you can see, this is not a common thing. So we're going to be just working through it here. So document this, and let's see what offset left looks like and see if that's what we need. This is a lot like what you typically do. Is like, okay, I know the element that I'm going to be working with, but I don't know what's essentially its properties because there's a lot of properties on these elements. So we're going to say offset left and see what it is. 19. Cool, cool. So I think that's what we need. So container, the rocket, I'm going to say left tracker, and it's going to be minus 10 for left because we have to decrease to go left, is less than offset height. So this one's going to be also really weird. So I'm going to take this out for a second. But if you remember, the rocket starts in the middle at 0. So if we go left, we don't go the full length of left. We actually go half the length. So it's going to be divided by 2. That's what we're going to be looking for. If it's less than divided by 2, now we should see some action. Let's see. Oh, because I need to make this negative. What are you doing? I'm going to multiply -1 times that divided by 2. There we go. It goes negative, and so it starts at 0, and then we decrease of -10, -20, -30. So it has to be negative. So we refresh that. Go left again. Oh, gosh, fine. Show me what I'm doing. Oh. I am just making dumb duplicate mistakes as I keep going. There we go. Left. There we go, but I don't account for the rocket's actual size. So what I'm going to do is I say plus plus the rocket dot width. Let me save that. Let's see if plus was it. It's one or the other. Left. A little bit closer. There we go. All right, so we're accounting for that width. Make sure that I'm not being crazy. Just do a minus here. It is sometimes just a lot of hair miss. That same thing. I think because it's just going to be acting like those numbers. So, oh, and because I'm not doing it in the right place. Wow. Kyle, stop it. Get your freaking head in the game. I believe it's plus. Could be wrong. It's been a theme tonight. Left. Yep, I did get it wrong. Left here. Until isn't it? It is. So I need to do minus, and then actually it's going to be. Oh, that's what it is. So minus the left side of that. There we go. Multiplied by -1. Divided by 2. Take out this other width. If you're like, Kyle, does it have to be this specific? No, it does not. I'm just doing it just to see if I got it right or wrong. Okay, you know what? We're just not going to do that. It keeps it off from going that way. There we go. Oh, and because oh my gosh, I'm getting rid of that console log because it just keeps, I keep doing that one. Oh. There we go. Oh. A little bit better, but you know what? Not worth it. So I'm gonna take it out. A little bit of time wasted? It absolutely was. All right. So there we go. We have our left done. Go ahead and we're gonna take this and we're gonna go into our right now. And then we don't even need a rocket up here anymore. We're gonna put it back down where it was supposed to be. Take that, keep that container, and what we're gonna do is take this, come right back down here. And instead of negative, it's going to be positive. So we take that out just like that. Perfect. And it's going to be plus 10 instead. Go right. Not showing right anymore. Oh, and because we have to flip the sign. There we go. Perfect. And we go down. Perfect. All right. We've done it. To the 19 people holding on.
Thanks, Kyle.
Efforts, Kyle.
Oh,
Yes,
oh my gosh,
appreciate
look at that. All right, the last one was not that difficult. Return the rocket to its original position and on the background when the has been landed or mission was aborted. And that's what we're going to do real quick. All we have to do is go up here to, or go down to our original ones, landing, or that's, was it landing or abort, right? So, so if it was, what we need to do is we go to Let me go back up here, grab our rocket, set those attributes, and all we do is we're going to set it back to 0. That is it. So we just take that, go to 0, 0px, 0px, there we go, and we just copy this line and put it in all of those. These two, not that one, but we need this one, there we go. Wait, was that takeoff? Sorry, I need landing, there we go. Okay, wow, flight simulator. All right, so down, and abort mission. Yes, abort it. There it goes. Go back up. All right. Okay, that's it. Easy enough, right? All right.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
Super easy.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, there'll be a test tomorrow, so be prepared.
Clear as mud, as they say. Have a good night.
Honestly, whenever I was starting development, these were the kinds of things that I was playing around with, which are just mind-boggling. So if it doesn't come naturally, or it's like you're like, what the heck did I just see? Don't think that like you're behind or anything like that. This is some tricky stuff, and we just started learning about it. So no, feel confident that you stay to the end and you're looking at it and you're trying to learn it. That's the impressive thing. So definitely keep looking at it. If it is confusing you, feel free to work on it, but don't get too lost in it. It will come naturally. But don't feel like you're behind if it is still clear as mud right now. But other than that, everybody, that is all they wrote for this studio. So that being said, any final questions before I let you all go tonight? All right. Again, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Kyle.
See you Thursday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, bye, everybody.